What's up? It's your boy Flynn. See, when I was in high school, I used to have friends that I can connect with pretty well. Like, we'll always hang out on the weekends. We play basketball together first before the sun comes up. Then we'll head over to one of our friends' house nearby. We'll take a shower over there and we'll have breakfast with him. And God bless his mom, because she even makes breakfast for us sometimes. We appreciate it. Having her host us like that. It was really warm. We appreciate her warmth. I know a few of them quite a bit. I've been to their houses. I've even met their parents. But unfortunately, something in the back of my mind has always been telling me that I don't know them on a deeper level. And in fact, sometimes when I even hang around them, I feel kind of lonely, kind of like I haven't found myself. Or for that matter, now that I can see it clearly, I could not connect well with them. And that's because we don't actually know each other that well. And probably my fault, because I don't really ask them personal questions to get to know them better. Like, what do they actually like? What kind of dreams do they have? What else is there? What do they want to become? Those sort of things. And neither did they. However, us being high school kids, we're all teenagers. We're just immature in general. Yes. None of us are having the minds of, right now, people in their 20s. None of us had minds like those people in their 20s and 30s. Come on, we're teenagers, again. Plus, I live pretty far away from them. So, because my school is far away from my home. So, whereas theirs is close to my school. So, it was easy for them to get together, but not for me. Maybe that's part of the factor, but I also didn't put in the right effort to foster that friendship with them. So despite me trying a lot of things that actually are ineffective, it didn't work out, and it brought a feeling of loneliness despite these friends being around. Then I came to a realization. I've got to know them at the level that they are playmates, almost becoming good friends. But because I didn't take the initiative to get to know them better, they're just friends I get to have fun with. In between people you play with and good friends, they are like over here. Okay, we call them friends, but they could have been more. They're not really friends on a deeper level. They share your lifestyle, but they may not share your hopes and dreams. And that's okay. People are different. It's okay to not connect with them on a deeper level. Because I've done what I can with the limitation of my maturity back then. If only I was more mature, then perhaps the outcome would have been different. And for whatever that is out of my control, if it doesn't work out, I guess it's okay. You cannot change what is not within your power. So do the best that you can that's within your power. And whatever is out of your control, just let it happen as naturally as it is. At least I learned that much from there. And plus, back then when I saw how well they got along, I kind of yearned for it. That envy crept up upon me, and my mindset, it was kind of strange back then, because I wanted to be outstanding among the boys. Like, if I could get into the school basketball team, get represent my school, my district, or my state, and even get into the championship among the boys team, I can stand out among all the boys in my school and get the girls' heart. But I did not believe in fitting into the crowd, but yet I kind of wanted to. It might have been due to the loneliness. These people I'm no longer in touch that much with these people, but I did learn a few things from them. There are actually expectations and perspectives. So, within every single one of us, there are two things. There's your expectation and there's your perspective. So, let me explain what expectations are all about first. They are set by your standards and your boundaries. Sometimes these expectations occur subconsciously, without even you realizing. They're Some of them are realistic and some of them are impossible. And it takes quite a bit of time for you to figure it out. Unfortunately for some people, they have higher expectations because they're more self-centered and self-absorbed. And I'm not excluded. I'm not free from this. I'm included as well. Because back then, when I was a teenager, me being my immature self, I was more selfish. I had my own goals and I thought I was special. So I had a huge main character syndrome and my big ego did not help with that. Well, back then I thought that all these guys I hang around with, they're like my sidekick and they help me become him and I'm gonna get the best girl I can. Like, what the fuck, bro? What the hell were you thinking? Me being like that is actually quite tough to put on the people around me. No wonder I don't have friends. Moreover, because they have their own characters. Come on, they're people. They didn't feel this way. They had their own set of expectations as well, because they are humans, naturally. Basically, for high school, teenagers, for your friends, if you're eager to know someone better, you just hang out together with them, meet their families, then talk about your hopes and dreams and your hobbies and stuff. It really is that simple. Like, at least for me, because we all have expectations. But you have to always remind yourself to keep yourself in check and not always live by them. Plus, you have to drop those that are unrealistic because if you stick by them, they may just ruin your life and your relationships along with it. Secondly, you have perspectives, and these perspectives are shaped by your circumstances and what you perceive of it. In other words, what you believe is in your life, your personal beliefs. When you have your own perspectives, you know exactly what it feels like to be in your shoes. You see your joys and you see your own suffering as well. Excuse me. But for friends, say you guys want to go outing and there's this place you like to go to, it's close to your place. And you kind of find that it is the best because you enjoy it, because of how much you enjoy it. But your friend who's living about 10 miles away says it's a pain in the ass for him to get to that part of the city because his mom has to drive him there and she's coming back from work, which is 10 miles north, plus he is south and then you're west. So it's gonna be a pain for his parents to send him there. So you have to learn to think and feel in their shoes. Back when I was a teenager, I was only looking heavily on my own perspective. I was isolated in my own ego. And my goals also, not my goals. I was so self-centered that I was only focused on my goals. I didn't care about anyone else. I wish I had this delusional wish to bend the world to my will. I couldn't get to know my friends better, not because I didn't want to, but because I was so centered in on myself. I knew them, but I didn't put in any more effort into building that friendship with them, aside from our playtime, which is kind of unfortunate. Do wish I can go back and make the changes. But I kind of live and learn, and if I never learned about it, never experienced it, I wouldn't be here talking. On top of that, when you learn to see from different perspectives, here's the interesting part, where perspective and expectations are heavily correlated to each other. Because when you learn to see from different perspectives, you kind of let go of some of your own expectations. Because you start to understand people. Then, all of a sudden, what do you expect only applies to you, but it doesn't apply to them. Because they're in a different situation. So, it doesn't work for you. I mean, it works for you, but it doesn't work for them. So you start to realize, this kind of makes sense from what I can see. But now that I understand what he's going through, it doesn't make sense to me. So you drop that expectation. Plus you make yourself less self-absorbed. And interestingly enough, you find this sense of fulfillment because you are able to connect with another being of the universe. When things get out of your control, it's better to just let it be as it is, than find a better opportunity to connect better with that person in the future, or with someone else. It's okay, that's what friendship is all about. If you can't connect, it's okay. It's not their fault, and neither is yours. Though, sometimes when you kind of mess up things, you understand that you messed it up and you should learn from your mistakes so you don't repeat it in the future. Just don't worry about failed friendships. Just move on and find other friends you can resonate better with. Because sometimes if you force the issue when both parties are not meant to be friends, then it gets even worse. You know, instead of having a good friendship, you start off with the wrong foot, gets a false start, and nothing happens, but it becomes awkward and you get a bad experience out of it. Still though, it may cause unnecessary pain, but it might be a lesson worth learning. So let things happen naturally, but you also, when it naturally comes to you, do put in the effort to build the friendship. If the other party reciprocates, that is wonderful. But if they don't, then it's fine. Just let it be as it is. It is what it is. See, the main takeaway here is when you learn to see from others' perspective, you learn to drop your own unrealistic expectations. Thus, you learn to be more chill and you learn to live a better life. And by chill, I mean you don't just give up on life altogether. There are two ways to say it is what it is. The it is what it is exhausted with life. And there is the expression where it is what it is, but you're excited for what is to come. Yet you want to let things happen naturally. On the other hand, you can also set healthy standards and boundaries and develop good expectations to protect yourself. So, expectations and perspectives work hand in hand to help you live a good life and foster good relationships with people. Do the work that's meant for you, for that work is best done by you.